listener. I wish you all a very good morning. Today, I welcome our respected distinguished speaker, honor of the nation, Swami Sir Priyanandji, resident Swami Vedanta Society, New York, and our guest of honor, Shri Shivraman Gaurji, retired IS. Presently, he is not with us and he is working as Director Higher Education, DAV College Managing Committee, New Delhi. Our worthy principal, dynamic, bright, genius, versatile Dr. Savita Bhagat, and also our all staff members teaching and non-teaching, students, eminent personalities of Faridabad, different states of India and abroad. I welcome you all here in this webinar. As we all know that today DAV Secondary College, Faridabad, under the direction of our worthy principal, is organizing webinar on the topic overcoming stress and attaining happiness through Vedanta. According to Swami Vivekananda, education is a continuous process. It should cover all aspects of life: physical, material, intellectual, emotional, moral, and spiritual. In the modern period, the masses should be educated before anything else is done. And we as Indians understand political and social strength, and also should have strong foundation of spiritual and cultural strength. Looking to these important aspect of our life and in the education system today, especially in this corona period, we all will listen words of wisdom and will be benefited with the knowledge of Swami Sir Priyanandji. Swamiji has been appointed as minister and spiritual leader of Vedanta Society, New York. He is Nagra Fellow for 2019 and 20 at Harvard Divinity School. Before this, he also served as Assistant Minister of Vedanta Society of Southern California. Swamiji also served as Acharya of Monastic Probationer Training Center of Balur Mutt. He has served Ramakrishna Mission in various capacity. Swami Sir Priyanandji is a young, dynamic spiritual leader. He holds degree of business management from St. Xavier Institute of Management, Bhubaneswar. His interest is very strong in spirituality and philosophy, as well as in human resource management and education. Now, without any delay, I would like to invite Dr. Savita Bhagat, our worthy principal, DAV Centenary College, Faridabad, to welcome our distinguished guest, Madam Savita Bhagat.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you so much. Respected, revered Swami Sir Priyananda ji, it's my great honor, my privilege to welcome you to DAV Centenary College, Faridabad. We are so happy today. This is a blissful morning. I have been following you for the last almost 1 year, and I could never imagine in my dreams that I would write to you and you would respond so spontaneously and would accede to my request to address our students and faculty and people of this area. I wrote to you also that this is the intervention of Almighty only, that I have been able to approach you and you acceded to my request. All those things which we think they are coincidences, they are not coincidences. We can see the work of God through those coincidences. Revered Swamiji, I bow before you. You are carrying on the legacy of Swami Vivekananda ji. it gives me goosebumps when I think that the seat which was established by in New York Vedantic Society by Swami Vivekananda ji, you are resident fellow and Swami at that place, and carrying on the great work initiated by Swami Vivekananda ji. Swamiji, as you know, modern time is full of stress and anxiety. Students are undergoing stress, teachers are undergoing stress. This is not only because of COVID situation. Otherwise also ups and downs in life. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad. Ups and downs in life make our life miserable. Whatever you get in life, even then, some sort of unhappiness remains inside. You get so many material possessions, you get positions, but even then there is some thirst. You want to acquire something more, and that you don't know what you want that will make you happy and peaceful. And herein lies the role of spirituality, I think. I haven't read much of ancient texts. You are sage, you are monk, you have given up, you have sacrificed this material world, this material ties, these material bonds, and taken the path of renunciation. We are steeped in this material world. We also want that we should have a glimpse of that spiritual wisdom, that knowledge, so that at least some peace, some happiness is there in our lives. In India, I was reading somewhere, the rate of suicides is maximum. Young children are committing suicides. What is the reason behind it? What is lacking here? India has great tradition of spirituality. And here in Harvard, you have Harvard School of Divinity. But in India, we don't have such curriculum. We don't have such kind of educational system. My firm belief is that right from beginning, children should be inculcated. There should be this kind of knowledge as a part of their curriculum, that they should know what is the ultimate aim of life. Who am I? This is a perennial question which is disturbing our minds. Madam Vijaya was introducing me as Savita Bhagat. Now, had she announced Sarita Bhagat, I would not have listened, because I am steeped in Savita Bhagat. I am identified with my name. Then she says she is our officiating principal. That is 1st of July only, I took over the charge as officiating principal. Before that, I was in this college as a teacher for 30 years. Now my position is changing. Name has been given by my parents, by the society. I am a woman and this is my body. But truly, who am I? This question is troubling our minds, whether we express it or not, but we don't know. I read little bit of Gurbani, Swamiji, and Gurbani, Guru Granth Sahib. It starts with, first letter is Ek Omkar, Ek Omkar. Everywhere he is prevailing. But even then there are so many conflicts, so many disturbances in life. So I invited you, since I have taken over only 10, 11 days ago this charge. We intend doing some academic activity also, some academic webinars also. But I am of the firm belief that we should start with spirituality. In my classes also, I keep on talking to my children, to my students, about the purpose of life, about identifying the real essence. Like in Gurbani, I was saying, it's written Ek Omkar. When I read further, it says, Sabbe Ghat Ram Bole, Rama Bole. Sabbe Ghat Ram Bole, Rama Bole, Ram Bina Ko Bole. Who else is speaking? Everywhere he is speaking. Now we need that third eye. We need that inner eye to see his glimpse here, everywhere. So whenever we talk to students, this age is known as age of information. You Google everything. Everything is available on Google. But who am I? Where will I search this? This is the biggest question. Loads of information. And all knowledge is lost under this garb of information. and all wisdom is lost under this garb of knowledge. If I tell them Swami Sarupriyananda ji is in New York, they will Google and they'll search, who is he? If I tell them your teachings, they listen to it. But this is information, this is knowledge. The third thing, the most important thing is that they should know how to live life according to that knowledge. That is the ultimate wisdom. I believe in that. Without taking much of time, I have given the start so that our young students are also with us. They are not very comfortable in the field of spirituality. We have grown, I mean, in age, we are mature ones. We have seen life, lot of ups and downs, and it has given a little bit of maturity in that area. But I would request you to enlighten us what Vedanta is about, what Vedantic philosophy is, and how Vedanta can help us in overcoming our stress and happiness and bring happiness for all of us. At least inviting you, I know it will be a very fruitful session. If it can bring slight change, small change in our thinking, a slight shift in our attitudes and behaviors, I think today's session will be successful session. It will be a meaningful session. We'll be spending very good moments with you. I'm sure about that because continuously, daily almost, I listen to your videos. There are so many videos and viewers, attendees, you also, I know you'll also start following him after listening to him. Lakhs of people are following him. Thank you so much, Swamiji. I don't have words, and you also know that words can be manipulated, but you can understand my silence, vibrations of my heart. I am so grateful to you for spending your time. Everybody should know that he is addressing us from New York, and at this late hour, it's time to take rest around 10:30 in the night. Even then, he's so gracious, so magnanimous that he is with us. Once again, thank you from the core of my heart. I bow before you, Swamiji. Thank you so much. And over to you now. Without losing much time, I hand over the mic to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? Yeah. So I would like to start with a chant. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste, everybody. Dr. Bhagat, Principal of the DAV Centenary College, Faridabad. Dr. Vijayavanti is the convener for this session. Other esteemed members of the faculty of the college, students from different faculties, different departments of the college, and guests from all over the world. Thanks to this modern technology, we are able to meet virtually from across the world. I know there are some people staying up late here in New York who are joining us on this, and I'm sure from other parts of India also. I was just seeing that we have more than 190 participants already. So the way we'll do this is that I'll speak to you for a short while, and Dr. Bhagat has kindly given me permission to use both English and Hindi. So which is one of the attractions for me, I'll be able to speak in Hindi, I think after 5 or 6 years. So, ye mauka mila hai, to I won't let it go. My Hindi might be a bit rusty, so you'll have to forgive me for that. And if there is somebody, I think most of you understand Hindi, so it won't be a problem. But I'll sort of mix it, Hindi and English. I'll speak to you for about 40 to 45 minutes, but really I would like to listen to you and interact with you. So we'll open it up for questions afterwards. I was just seeing somebody is co-host here. I'm sure somebody is managing it so that once we open up for Q&A, you can just ask questions. I'll try to reply, and then we can speak to each other. So the subject today is managing stress, attaining happiness through Vedanta. No, at the very beginning, I'd like to say this, that this is the purpose of Vedanta. When you say managing stress, attaining happiness, that sounds very modern and something that we can all relate to. And when you talk about Vedanta and spirituality, immediately, especially in young people, the reaction is, "Oh, वो तो कुछ साधु महात्मा की बात होगी, कोई पंडित या दार्शनिकों की बात होगी. What does that have to do with us?" Not at all. So the first thing that I would like to tell you is the purpose of Vedanta, purpose of spirituality, Adhyatmikata, is actually this thing. Only it is said in Sanskrit. The purpose of Vedanta, the goal is, the prayojana is Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti Paramananda Praptishcha. What does that mean? It means overcoming, a total, complete overcoming, cessation of sorrow, suffering, and attainment of permanent, lasting, unlimited bliss. Basically, the subject which we have got today, managing stress, overcoming stress, and attaining happiness. So this is, for example, this was the quest when Siddhartha, the prince Siddhartha, set out, how can I find a solution to suffering? 2,500 years ago, this subject itself, what we are discussing today, this subject itself transformed Siddhartha into Bhagavan Buddha. Recently, I came across a very interesting quote from Buddha, a professor of philosophy here in Stony Brook. He told us, in fact, I can tell you the name, Professor Arindam Chakravarti, who is a brilliant Indian philosopher. So he said, Bhagavan Buddha, in one place, he's asked, what is the purpose of spirituality, Buddhism? So what is the purpose of it? What does it do for us? जो बुद्धिस्ट नहीं है, जो आध्यात्मिक नहीं है, उनका भी उम्र होता है. They also fall ill, and we also become old. We also fall ill. We also suffer. So how is it any different? What does it do for us? And the answer was very instructive. कि ये आध्यात्मिकता, spirituality, आखिर करता क्या है? What is the purpose of it? He said that imagine a person is hit by an arrow. And imagine the suffering when a person is hit by an arrow. And immediately after that, one more arrow, second arrow. So a person is hit by 2 arrows. Imagine the suffering. Now the first arrow is what the world throws at you. Tension and demands and pressures, physical suffering, mental, the way people behave with you, the demands of your job and career and competition, the coronavirus. And so all of this, the problems of the world which you are facing right now, that's the first arrow. And the second arrow kya hai? What is the second arrow? The second arrow is our reaction to it. So Bhagavan Buddha's tremendous insight was suffering lies in that second arrow. Bahar ki duniya to aise hi hai. That is the same thing for jo sadhu sant hain, jo Mahatma Paramahams hain, unke liye bhi yahi duniya hai. And those who are, we are in the household or suffering, students, teachers, corporate executives, we face the same world. The world is the same for everybody. So the first arrow is common to everybody. But the real suffering comes in our reaction. And that reaction is that second arrow. And Bhagavan Buddha says, what does spirituality do? It removes the suffering of that second arrow. पहला जो तीर है, जो दुनिया आपकी ओर फेंकती है, that Buddha says, I cannot do anything about that. वो तो आएगा ही. If you're born, as Krishna says in the Gita, jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. If one is born, this body will age. This body will die one day. Disease will be there. So these things come and go. How we react to it, that makes all the difference. And this reaction is controlled by spirituality. It is transformed by spirituality. So that is the precise role of spirituality. And what is true of Buddhism, the same thing is true of Vedanta also, of all spiritual paths and all religions. In the most ancient of Sankhya texts, Ishwar Krishna's Sankhya Karika, which is thousands of years old. There's in fact a Chinese translation 1500 years ago. So a very ancient text. The very first verse says this. What is the role of spirituality? It says, afflicted by the three kinds of sorrows, dukkhatraya bhigatat. There is a desire in human beings. How can I overcome sorrow? Jihasatad apaghatake hetu. What are the ways in which I can overcome sorrow? So that becomes the quest. And then the question comes, drishte sa apartha chet. That is the next part of the verse. What about the worldly solutions? There are many worldly solutions. If you have a disease, then you go and take a medicine. Of course, there's no medicine yet for coronavirus, but you take medicine for disease. If you are bored, you watch TV or internet, or if you, there are so many different solutions, worldly solutions for our suffering. Why not? So why go for a spiritual solution? And that first verse, just imagine in one verse, the first verse of Sankhya Karika, it answers that none of these worldly solutions are certain. Ekantika abhavat. That means there is no permanent solution here and no certain solution here. So no ekanta atyantika bhava. So there is no permanent solution in the world for our suffering, and there is no certain solution in the world for our suffering. Therefore, there is a search. Is it possible to really overcome suffering in the world? Is it really possible to overcome stress and attain lasting peace and happiness? And the promise of spirituality. I will not just say Vedanta. I will say every stream of spirituality. In every religion, the core of every religion is spirituality. And the promise is, yes, it is possible to overcome suffering and to attain lasting happiness and satisfaction. And it's the proof. The proof is there. The only kind of people, I sometimes think, if you look at society around you and throughout history, who has been happy? किसको शांति मिली है, किसको सुख मिला है? Who has really been able to overcome suffering? And the second arrow, not the richest people, not the most powerful people, not the most talented people, but you'll notice, you might ask, koi aisa hai kya? Yes, there are. There is a class of people throughout history in all parts, in all civilizations, especially in India, who have cultivated a certain way of life, which we today call spirituality. And they have actually succeeded in overcoming suffering and attaining peace and joy. Those you consider to be Paramahamsas, Jivan Muktas, जिसको आप पहुंचे हुए महात्मा मानते हो, in every tradition, religion, and every time of history, you will notice one thing common to all of them, whether they are men or women, whether they are Hindus or Sikhs or Muslims or Christians, whoever they are, you will find Buddhists that they are at peace. Truly spiritual people, one thing you'll find, there are no complaints. Jaise bhi ho unka life. They are very happy, always at peace. So there is a proof that such a life is possible. Wealth and fame, not possible. I was just thinking, I have been in the United States for just over 5 years. So I was given the opportunity to stay and work in three very important, interesting areas. Pehla to I was in California, in Hollywood. You'd be surprised to know that we have an ashram in Hollywood. So somebody asked the Swami there, "Ki Hollywood mein aap ashram kyun banaye?" And the Swami there at that time, Prabhavananda ji, replied, "Ye Hollywood banne se pehle hum log ashram bana tha. So you should not ask us." So Hollywood. And now I am in Manhattan. And another place I was working in this last 1 year is in Harvard. Now, what is the importance? एक जगह है Manhattan, यहाँ पैसों की जगह है, पैसों की महत्व है, पास में Wall Street है. So this is a place where it's like worship of money. If you are rich, you are successful. You have made it in life. If you are in Hollywood, it's the worship of name and fame and glamour. तो यही success की मापकाठी है. If you are in Harvard, the scale of success is how learned you are, what prizes awards have you got, are you a Nobel Prize winner, and so on. So, and yet I found in all of these places, neither wealth, nor name and fame and glamour, nor even learning, scholarship, none of them really ultimately gave a lasting peace. In all of these places, I found those who were truly spiritual, To that extent, they were spiritual, they found peace. So, overcoming stress, attaining happiness, मैं इसलिए ये सब बता रहा हूँ कि ये कोई आध्यात्मिक विषय जो कुछ बड़ों की बात है कि महात्माओं की या दार्शनिकों की बात है या हम स्टूडेंट्स हैं हमको क्या लेना देना इससे, not at all. Exactly what we want, whether you are students or teachers or professionals or monks, that is the subject of discussion, and that is the subject for Vedanta and spirituality. So I'll speak to you briefly about 4 aspects. 4 स्तर है इसमें, हम इसके बारे में बताएंगे, and then we'll open it up for questions. I'm keeping an eye on the time. तो पहली बात है कि at the level of work, of activity, see, one insight that has been gained is to overcome stress and attain happiness. If we work for the welfare of others, that directly leads to happiness. Nowadays, there is this whole new branch called positive psychology. किससे how it deals with human flourishing. किससे हम और बेहतर जीवन यापित कर सकें, तो यही इनका सब्जेक्ट है. Many psychology departments, a lot of good work is going on. In fact, one Harvard psychologist, Daniel Gilbert, I think, he has written a book, Stumbling into Happiness. It became very famous recently. So he's a psychologist working at Harvard. अब उनको recently interview किया गया, एक यहाँ के मशहूर टीवी के इंटरव्यूअर हैं, टॉक शो होस्ट हैं, Stephen Colbert. In the Colbert show, he was interviewed, and the interviewer asked him कि आप हमको एक चीज बता दीजिए जिससे कि मैं हैप्पी हो जाऊं. आप तो रिसर्च कर रहे हैं ना किससे आदमी हैप्पी होता है. So he started saying something, and the interviewer was very impatient. Stephen Colbert, he said, no, I don't have time to practice all that. आप हमको एक चीज बता दीजिए, और वो एक चीज आसान होना चाहिए. I should be able to do it immediately. और ऐसा होना चाहिए कि तुरंत हैप्पीनेस मिलना चाहिए, और ऐसा भी होना चाहिए कि वो हैप्पीनेस विल लास्ट. एक चीज हम इमीडिएटली कर देंगे, उससे हैप्पी हो जाएंगे, और दैट हैप्पीनेस विल लास्ट आल्सो. आई वाज थिंकिंग क्या बोलेगा इसमें, कैसे हो सकता है. बट दैट प्रोफेसर, he gave a very nice answer. He said, ठीक है, जो बोल रहा हूँ छोड़िए. Stephen, you do one thing. Next time you go to Starbucks, the guy next to you, you pay for his coffee. अब देखिए मजा क्या होता है. So the moment you do something for somebody else without expectation of any return, turant, immediately, the result is you feel happy. And that's a lasting kind of happiness. One of the experiments that was performed in class, in a psychology class here in the United States a few years ago, एक दिन प्रोफेसर ने वो साइकोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट में स्टूडेंट्स को, छात्रों को बोले कि आज हम लोग पढ़ाई नहीं करेंगे, चलो हम लोग सब मूवी देखने जाएंगे. The students, of course, were very happy. So they went out and watched a movie, and when they came back, the professor gave them a survey. Psychology class है तो survey करेंगे ही वो. And he said, here is a scale 1 to 5. इसमें आप measure करो कि how happy did this movie make you? 1 थोड़ा सा, और 5 बहुत ज़्यादा. And the students gave some ranking. कोई 3 दिया, कोई 4 दिया, कोई 5 भी दिया होगा. एक हफ्ते बाद फिर क्लास में प्रोफेसर ने कहा कि आज भी क्लास नहीं होगा. एंड स्टूडेंट्स मस्ट हैव बीन वेरी हैप्पी कि फिर मूवी देखेंगे. नहीं, मूवी नहीं, आज वी विल गो टू दिस प्लेस. वी हैव अरेंज्ड टू मीट सम स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम इकोनॉमिकली बैकवर्ड फैमिलीज, and we will spend the afternoon with the students, making friends with the students, and we have collected gifts, toys and clothes which you will give to the students. तो उस दिन ऐसे ही बिताए वो स्टूडेंट्स. फिर वापस जब आए साइकोलॉजी स्टूडेंट्स, उनको फिर से सर्वे किया गया कि आप रैंकिंग करो 1 से 5 तक. आज का जो आफ्टरनून आप you spent with time with these children, how happy does it make you feel when you think about it? 1 to 5. तो उन्होंने किया. अब असली मजा आया कि 6 महीने बाद suddenly in the class the professor said, here is a survey. Think about 6 महीने पहले we had gone to a movie one day together. अब याद करो वो मूवी को, और अब वो मूवी के बारे में सोच के आपको कितना हैप्पीनेस मिल रहा है. You give a ranking 1 to 5. तो किसी ने 1 दिया, किसी ने 2 दिया, किसी ने बोला कि वो मूवी का नाम ही क्या था हमको याद नहीं है. Then the professor said, और ये दूसरा क्वेश्चन, next week we had gone to those children and we made friends with the children, spent time with them and you gave them those gifts. उसके बारे में सोचो, और वो सोच के अभी आपको कितना हैप्पीनेस मिल रहा है. 1 to 5. And they all gave rankings कोई 4 दिया, कोई 5 दिया, showing that जो sense pleasure है, that the happiness that we get from sense pleasures, which we do for ourselves, like watching that movie, that happiness goes away very fast. 1 महीना बाद, 6 महीना बाद, that's not there anymore. If you think about it, you don't get any more happiness from it. But what we do for others, what even a small thing, like Professor Gilbert said to Stephen Colbert, that you pay for the coffee of the next person. Even the small thing, that happiness remains. हम लोगों ने अपने जीवन में जो दूसरों के लिए किया है, notice one thing, even if people don't remember it, even if people are not grateful for it, if you think about it, हाँ, ये हमने निस्वार्थ भाव से किसी के लिए किया, कहीं पर डोनेशन दिया, किसी से अच्छा बर्ताव किया, an act of kindness, it will always be a source of happiness for you. So this is one thing to understand. Swami Vivekananda said, unselfishness is more paying, but it takes a mature mind to understand this. The wise come to it earlier. Others take more time. So we think by being selfish, apne liye, paisa, degrees and achievements, if we accumulate, then we'll be happy. इस शरीर के लिए, इस व्यक्तित्व के लिए सब बाहर से रिसोर्सेस खींच के इस देवता के पाँव में हम लगाएंगे तो हम खुश हो जाएंगे. That's our natural feeling, and it takes a long time to see it doesn't work. But what works is if we work to make other people happy, in whichever way we can. It could be just your own circle of people around you. The more you try to do this without expectation of return, that automatically it increases our happiness. And note, when you work for others without expectation of return, stress bhi nahi hota hai. Stress bhi bahut kam hota hai. I have seen the Swamijis working in the Ramakrishna Mission, school, college, relief activities, huge institutions they are running. And I see how peacefully they are running it. तो एक ही काम कर रहे हैं जो बाहर के लोग काम कर रहे हैं. तो why is it that these Swamijis are so relaxed? It's because there is no personal angle involved here. The ashram, the sangha has given this work for us. It's a good work. People are benefited. जहाँ तक हो सके हम करेंगे. So that attitude, where you, in a detached way, आप लोग सब जानते होंगे, पढ़ते ही होंगे कि अरे स्वामी जी आप तो कर्म योग के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, and that's true. This is basically the philosophy of karma yoga, the level of karma, unselfish action, which we do for others, and you can convert your daily action. कोई नई चीज नहीं करना पड़ेगा. तो क्या हम आश्रम में चले जाएं, कहीं पर सेवा में लग जाएं? नहीं, जहां पर हम हैं, we can convert that into spiritual action. That was the great teaching of Krishna to Arjuna. Arjuna wanted to become spiritual and he wanted to leave everything and go off. And Krishna said, if you want to be spiritual, the same work which you are doing, that battle you have to fight. But now you convert karma into karma yoga. So this is a great teaching, that doing it internally, we change the attitude. This work, by this work, may I serve humanity, whoever is around, students and faculty and the people around me and society. Let me offer this as a worship. Sri Ramakrishna's very beautiful formula, Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva. Jiva, all sentient beings. Shiva Jnani, knowing them to be none other than Shiva. The divinity resides in all sentient beings. Now, when I deal with them, I'm actually worshipping God. That brings me to my second, or dusra star hai, gahra star hai. At the level of feelings, ये तो action हो गई. At the level of feelings, if you love God, आप सब में जिनको ईश्वर पर विश्वास है, whatever your religion be, you could be Hindu or Muslim or Sikh or Christian, Buddhist. Buddhist I will not say, because the whole concept is different there. For Buddhists and Jains, there's no particular Ishvara to fall in love with. I'm talking about theistic religions, let's say. So if you're lucky enough to have faith in God, belief in God, somebody defined, I think C.S. Lewis defined religion as falling in love. तो कोई प्यार करना शुरू करता है. The moment anybody falls in love, that person is happy. You can see a glow in the face of that person. The only thing is, if you fall in love with human beings, because human beings change and our expectations also change. And when you fall in love with a human being, it's more, you're falling in love your image and expectation of that human being other than that person. So what happens, it also produces sorrow. But when you fall in love with God and love God in all human beings, it's not that you don't love human beings, you love God in all human beings, then you find deep peace. आपको formula for happiness, immediate, the glow of lasting, deep, very profound happiness is to fall in love with God. और इसके दो विभाग हैं. एक है कि प्रेम, the love of God, मेरा कृष्ण या मेरा राम, or it could be my Durga or Kali, in whichever form you love God, intense love of God. So you feel the joy in thinking about God, you feel joy in listening to bhajans and kirtans, in doing a little ritual, and finding the same God in all beings. I found एक माता जी को हमने देखा था गंगोत्री के पास. She saw Gopala, the child Krishna, in everybody. तो सबको वो रोटी बना के खिलाती थी. But for her, everybody was Gopala. I don't know if she actually could see, but anyway, she felt like that. Somebody asked her कि आपको तो लोग तंग करते रहते हैं कि माता जी खिलाइए, and you are sometimes ill, you are tired. So आपको कैसा लगता है? And she replied, हाँ बाबा बहुत तरह के लोग आते हैं, लेकिन बाबा सब गोपाल हैं. So that is the very interesting attitude to take, and that person overcomes suffering. ये अच्छा है, वो बुरा है, but for her, greater than that is that सब गोपाल हैं. So loving everybody by loving God, ये एक भाग. दूसरा विभाग इसका ये है कि इसमें बड़ी शक्ति मिलती है. In love of God, there is sharanagati. Now see, right now you are fighting with the world yourself. नौकरी कौन संभालेगा? हमको संभालना पड़ेगा. बाल बच्चे हैं, उनको कौन देखेगा? तो हमको देखना पड़ेगा. दायित्व of the society, I have to take. Now it's a very big load for one frail, small human being. But when you have love for God, you have an infinite powerhouse at your disposal. तो जो भार, कोई मजाक कर रहा था, कोई ट्रेन में जा रहा था, बैठा हुआ इतना बड़ा पोटला माथे पर लिए और दुख रहा है, तो somebody said, अरे भैया वो ट्रेन पर रख दो, तुमको जो ट्रेन लेके जा रही है वो आप तुम्हारा बोझा को भी वो ट्रेन लेके जाएगा. In the same way, the entire बोझा of this world, mentally, internally, put it at the feet of the Lord. आपको जैसे पसंद हो, मेरा कृष्ण, मेरा राम, जो भी हो, mentally offer it to the Lord. आपका प्रभु संसार है, आप हमको रखें इसमें, आप संभालिए. I will work as your servant. So you will see how it helps you powerfully to overcome mental tension. Carl Jung, the famous psychoanalyst, he once said that I have seen that in most cases among my patients who are in the middle age and above, mental patients, the source of mental illness in most of those cases is a divorce between them and their religion. जो भगवान पर श्रद्धा विश्वास नहीं है, नास्तिकता आ गई है, उसके साथ mental illness का भी एक ताल्लुक उन्होंने. That was at least Carl Jung's conclusion. So very interesting that mental illness is less when you have devotion and faith in God. तो ये हुआ दूसरा स्तर, love of God. That helps you to, the love gives you happiness in life, and the surrender to God, the reliance on God, that हम अकेले नहीं है इस संसार का संग्राम में. Arjuna has Krishna, I also have Krishna. I also have Rama at my side. So I rely on God to help me in my samsara, in my Kurukshetra. अब तीसरा स्तर और भी गहन स्तर है, ये गंभीर तत्व है. The level of meditation. Meditation has become really popular in this country also. I mean, a few years back, Time magazine had a cover story on meditation. So sometimes in airports, we see little cubicles for meditation. Big corporate houses have cubicles for meditation. At Harvard University, I saw a room kept aside for meditation for people from different religions. आपको ताज्जुब होगा सुन के, and I also felt I was surprised. So see in the big universities across the United States, I visited so many, and I lived for 1 year at Harvard. Spirituality is a big thing there. You see, this country, in the middle of Harvard University, you'll be in the Harvard Yard, in the middle of that. The biggest building is, on one side is Widener Library, which is the largest academic library in the world. And across the Harvard Yard, the other big building is the Memorial Church. तो इसमें किसी को नहीं लगता है कि यूनिवर्सिटी है, सेक्युलर होना चाहिए, तो क्यों चर्च इधर होगा? ऐसा किसी को नहीं लगता है. आपको जाना है तो जाइए, मत जाना है तो मत जाइए. But spirituality and religion is an essential part of life. इसमें सेक्युलरिज्म के साथ किसी को कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं लगता है हार्वर्ड में या दूसरे यूनिवर्सिटीज में. I saw that at Cambridge University in England and Oxford University in England also. So this idea that meditation, and of course in this country meditation has been secularized. So even if you do not belong to any religion, you can still practice meditation. There is no, mindfulness is a huge, I can say, sort of industry here in the United States now. So I will not spend much time on that, just mention ki dhyan, this word, Sanskrit word dhyana, it is the same word which went from India to China and became Chan. In Tibetan, in Buddhism, it became jhana. Dhyana is jhana. And ultimately, it became the Zen in Japan, Zen Buddhism. So आजकल जो mindfulness दुनिया भर में फैला हुआ है, even in USA, in India also, ये सब Indian tradition से आए हुए हैं. And the oldest manual of meditation is the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. इतना ही कहने का तात्पर्य यह है कि tremendous amount of peace is possible. The mind is a machine. It's an instrument, a tool. Aapke paas, so if it's a machine, why does it have to think all the time? See, we are so identified with the mind, but the mind, you are not your mind. Aap kabhi mind ko bhi alag karke rakh ke dekhiye. Just like if you have a pen, does that mean you will write all the time? If you have a scooter, does that mean you will scoot around all the time? No, sometimes you will and sometimes you will put it aside. Similarly, the mind, why does it have to go on chattering all the time? ऐसा भी दिन में एक बार दो बार होना चाहिए कि मन भी शांत हो जाए. I am not the mind. The mind can also stop chattering. अच्छा से अच्छा चिंता भी ना करे मन, ऐसा हो. So these techniques of meditation are there. ऐसा टेक्निक है, क्या बता रहे आपको, योग निद्रा, those who have done, for example, within 30 to 45 minutes, anyone, even the first time you practice it, ऐसा रिलैक्सेशन आपको महसूस होगा जो आप कभी सोचे भी नहीं होंगे कि हमारा ये मन, this restless mind can be so peaceful, at least for a period of time. It can happen for anybody. So a regular course of meditation, morning and evening, is a wonderful thing to do. अब असली बात पे आते हैं. असली बात according to me, सबसे जो गंभीर तत्व है कि आखिर हम है क्या, जो हम चाहते हैं कि हमको शांति मिले, हमको टेंशन ना हो, I want happiness, सुख मिले, तो ये मैं कौन है? This inquiry is important, because if we are, as Dr. Bhagat was saying, if I'm only this person, तो टेंशन होना स्वाभाविक है कि ये पर्सन तो एक दिन ना एक दिन it will become old, there will be disease, there will be mind. If I'm the mind, मन के उतार चढ़ाव तो रहते ही हैं, then I will be caught in samsara. I will be caught. I will, इसमें पिस जाएंगे हम. या इससे भी अलग जो वेदांत कहता है कि आप शरीर नहीं है, मन नहीं है, चिदानंद रूपः शिवोहम, ऐसा कोई तत्व है या नहीं, और उसको कैसे जाने. तो जितना समय बचा है, इसमें हम आपको एक तरकीब, एक जिसको प्रक्रिया कहते हैं वेदांत में, वो आपको सिखाएंगे. अब देखिए कैसा लगता है इसको. I will say that and then we will take questions. तो ये ऐसा है, इसको वेदांत में दृग्दृश्य विवेक कहते हैं. It's one of my favorites. It's from a text which was written about 600 years ago, probably by Vidyaranya Swami, who lived in south of India, विजयनगर में रहते थे, जो मशहूर है अपने पंचदशी के लिए. तो इसका पहला जो वर्स है, what it says is, देखो एक चीज आप पकड़ के रखो, दृष्टा और दृश्य अलग है, इतना ही पकड़ के रखो. The seer and the seen are two different things. What does it mean? तो ये हम एक नोटपैड है, दिस इज दृश्य, जिसको हम देख रहे हैं वो दृश्य है, और जो देख रहा है वो दृश्य से अलग है। तो आंख देख रहा है और ये नोटपैड दृश्य है, आंख इस दृश्य से अलग है, दृष्टा दृश्य से अलग है। ये तो एकदम कॉमन सेंस वाली बात है। ये आप ध्यान दीजिए कि दृश्य पलटता रहता है। आप अभी देखिए अपने स्क्रीन में कितने लोगों को देख रहे हैं आप, तो दृश्य पलटता रहता है, लेकिन दृष्टा एक ही है, मतलब आंख दृष्टा है और दृश्य बहुत है। और दृश्य दृश्य कीप्स चेंजिंग दैट विच वी एक्सपीरियंस। इससे पहले आप कुछ देख रहे थे, अभी कुछ देख रहे हैं, उसके बाद कुछ दूसरा देखेंगे। एक ही द सेम ऑर्गन ऑफ विजन, द आईज, दे सी चेंजिंग मेनी थिंग्स विच आर चेंजिंग। सो ये देखिए, दृष्टा दृश्य अलग है, पहली बात। दृष्टा एक है, दृश्य बहु है। और तीसरी बात है कि दृष्टा, द सीयर इज रिलेटिवली अनचेंजिंग एंड द सीन, जो दृश्य है वो बदलते रहते हैं। तो दृष्टा आंख है और ये दुनिया दृश्य है। उसी तरह से कान भी एक तरह से दृष्टा तो नहीं है, लेकिन सुनता है, और सुनाई देने वाला शब्द तो बहुत है। उसी तरह से हमारे पंच ज्ञान इंद्रिय एक तरह से दृष्टा है, और उनके जो विषय है, रूप रस गंध स्पर्श, ये सब दृश्य है। ये पलटते रहते हैं, लेकिन इनसे अलग है इंद्रिय। तो आप पूछेंगे तो क्या हुआ, इससे क्या क्या फर्क पड़ा? आप देखिए, थोड़ा आगे बढ़िए। अब ये जो हमारे शरीर है और इंद्रिय है, ये भी दृश्य है, क्योंकि इनको हम जानते हैं। मन जानता है आंख को, तो आंख दृश्य बन गया और मन हो गया दृष्टा, और दुनिया दृश्य रह गई। दुनिया तो दृश्य है ही। अब जो आंख दृष्टा था वो अब दृश्य बन गया है। मन से हम जानते हैं मेरा आंख खुला हुआ है। हाँ। सुबह सुबह उठा दिया डॉक्टर भगत ने बच्चों को, तो अब आंख बंद होने वाली है। ये क्या स्वामी जी बोले जा रहे हैं? तो ये कौन जान रहा है? Who knows this? It's the mind. So the mind becomes the drashta, and the organs and the body becomes the drisya. अब वही बात पकड़ के रखिए, दृष्टा और दृश्य अलग है, मन अलग है, हमारे जो सेंस ऑर्गन्स हैं वो अलग है। दो अलग चीज है, और ये अपने अनुभव से तुरंत पता चलता है। और दृष्टा एक है, वही मन आंख से भी दिखता है, आंख को भी पहचानता है, कान को भी पहचानता है, पूरा शरीर को पहचानता है। सेम दृष्टा इज वन, दृश्य आर मेनी, एंड दृश्य आर चेंजिंग, दृष्टा इज द सेम। आप बोलेंगे मन तो चेंज करता है, लेकिन माइंड चेंजेस इनटू माइंड, बट दीज वेरियस ऑर्गन्स दे आर चेंजिंग इन मेनी डिफरेंट वेज। फिर क्या हुआ? और एक स्टेप लेते हैं, और उसके बाद देखिए मैजिक, कमाल देखिए। मन भी दृश्य है। मन को भी, अपना मन को भी हम लोग जानते हैं। मन में जब खुशी हुई तो हम जानते हैं हम खुश हैं। मन में कुछ याद करने की कोशिश कर, याद नहीं आ रहा है, आई कांट रिकॉल इट, तो आई एम अवेयर दैट ये तो हमको याद है, लेकिन आ नहीं रहा है अभी। मन में गुस्सा आया तो आई नो, आई एम अवेयर, आई एम एंग्री। So the anger in my mind, the knowledge in my mind, the joy in my mind, these are all दृश्य, क्योंकि इसको हम जानते हैं। तो जो जानता है मन को, मन का जो दृष्टा है वो मन से अलग होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग जानते हैं, हम लोग पहले से ही ये नाप लिए हैं कि दृष्टा और दृश्य अलग है। So the witness of the mind is different from the mind. मैं मन का भी दृष्टा हूँ। मन के जरिए मैं शरीर को जानता हूँ, और शरीर और मन के जरिए दुनिया को जानता हूँ, लेकिन मैं दृष्टा हूँ मन का भी। तो इससे क्या हुआ? तो देखिए कमाल क्या है, ऐसा है। तो एक बढ़िया कहानी बताते हैं उत्तराखंड के महात्मा लोग, कि कोई बाबू आए, शायद फरीदाबाद से होंगे, वो आए उत्तरकाशी में या गंगोत्री में एक महात्मा के पास, जाके बोले कि महात्मा जी हम बहुत अशांत हैं। तो महात्मा जी उनसे कहे कि आप अशांत हैं? हाँ, मैं तो बहुत अशांत हूँ। तो आपकी मन की अशांति आप जानते हैं, आप उसको अनुभव करते तो हैं, इसीलिए आपके पास आए हैं। इतने कष्ट हो रहा है हमको, मन की बहुत अशांति है, तो अशांति को आप जानते हैं। हाँ, तो अगर आप अशांति को जानते हैं, मन की अशांति को, तो वो अशांति आपका दृश्य हुआ, और आप उस अशांति के दृष्टा हुए। दृष्टा और दृश्य तो अलग है, तो आप कैसे अशांत हो सकते हैं? आप अशांति के जानने वाले हैं, तो अशांति आपसे अलग हुई कि नहीं? तो ये कहानी यहाँ खत्म नहीं हुई, और इट बिकम्स इवन मोर इंटरेस्टिंग। तो वो साहब उसको थोड़ा सोचे, और अगर आप ऐसे सोचेंगे ना तो आपको शांति मिलेगी कि मेरा मन, वट एवर कम्स इन माई माइंड इज दृश्य, इज एन ऑब्जेक्ट दैट आई एम अवेयर ऑफ। Just as I'm aware of this notepad, I'm aware of the contents of my mind. ऐसा जब करेंगे तो थोड़ा शांति मिलेगी आपको। तो उन सज्जन की तो वही हालत हुई, वो फिर वापस आए महात्मा जी के पास और बोले कि महात्मा जी आप ठीक बोल रहे थे, अब मैं बहुत शांत हूं। तुरंत महात्मा जी उस पर बरस पड़े, बोले नहीं, तुम अपने मन की शांति के दृष्टा हो, तुम शांति नहीं हो, तुम शांति के दृष्टा हो। जैसे तुम मन की अशांति के दृष्टा थे, उससे अलग थे, अब मन शांत हो गया है, उस शांत मन के भी तुम दृष्टा हो, उससे भी अलग हो तुम। इससे क्या होता है, देखिए ये है, उस सज्जन का क्या होता, मन शांत हो गया, अब शायद वो हिमालय से वापस फरीदाबाद आ जाते और ट्रैफिक जैम और सब ये अपना संसार की जो ऊपर नीचे, इसमें क्या होता कि मन फिर से उब जाती और सोचते तब कि मैं हिमालय में वो महात्मा जी के आश्रम में बहुत शांत था, अब मैं बहुत अशांत हो गया हूँ। लेकिन महात्मा जी बोले कि वो एक परमानेंट शांति की तरकीब समझा दी उनको कि देखिए, मन की शांति और मन की अशांति दोनों ही आपके नहीं है, दोनों आपके दृश्य हैं। आप क्या है फिर, आप तो परमानेंटली शांत हैं। जब मन अशांत है उसका भी आप शांत दृष्टा है, जब मन शांत है उसका भी आप शांत दृष्टा है। ये दृष्टा जो है इसका स्वरूप ही शांत है। मांडुक्य उपनिषद में 7वें मंत्र में कहा गया है, आत्मा का नाम कहा गया, शांतम शिवम अद्वैतम, नाम ही, आपका नाम है शांत। तो आप शांति ऐसा नहीं है कि मन को शांत करना है, आप शांति स्वयं है। मन कभी शांत है कभी अशांत है, आपको क्या फर्क पड़ता है, मन चाहे आपको जो मौज है करो, तुमको शांति अच्छा लगता है तो शांति में रहो, तुमको अशांति अच्छी लगती है तो अशांत रहो, तुम, हमको कुछ नहीं लेना देना। द मोमेंट यू डू दैट, तो मन जो है इट स्टार्ट्स बिहेविंग, वो ऑटोमेटिकली मैजिकली द माइंड बिकम्स काम। ये महात्मा लोग समझते हैं। और दूसरी बात है कि मन के डिमांड्स में मत आओ इतना। ये महात्मा लोग समझते हैं कि मन, द माइंड इज लाइक अ चाइल्ड। सो कभी कभी बच्चे रोते हैं और माँ बाप जानते हैं कि कोई भारी आपद नहीं टूट पड़ी, कोई डिजास्टर नहीं हो गया है, बच्चे कभी कभी रोते हैं, ये कोई बहुत बड़ी ट्रेजेडी नहीं है, अब चुप बैठो, वो खुद कुछ देर बाद शांत हो जाएंगे। तो मन भी वैसा ही है, कभी कभी रोता है, कभी कभी अच्छा नहीं लगता है, वो बुरा है, कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगता है, तो आप बोलो कि ठीक है, तुमको कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगता, तुम जाओ कोने में बैठे रहो, हमको कुछ लेना देना तुमसे नहीं। यू विल इमीडिएटली सी दैट द माइंड काम्स डाउन, इट बिकम्स पीसफुल। तो मैं मन का भी दृष्टा हूं, और ये दृष्टा जो है ये कभी, इट नेवर बिकम्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट। आई शुड से दैट फॉर कंप्लीशन। ये जो श्लोक हम बता रहे हैं आपको दृक् दृश्य विवेक से, रूपम दृश्यम लोचनम दृक्, ये रूप दृश्य है, आंख दृष्टा है। तद दृश्यम दृक्तु मानसम, ये आंख भी दृश्य बन जाते हैं, मन दृष्टा है। और फिर दृश्याधिवृत्तया साक्षी, मन के जो वृत्ति हैं ये भी दृश्य है, ये भी सिनेमा है, उसका दृष्टा आप है, साक्षी। तो साक्षी को कैसे देखे, साक्षी को कभी देखा नहीं जा सकता है, दृगेव न तु दृश्यते, साक्षी आप हैं, it's your reality, it's not an object which you can see. For completion, let me say, there might be philosophy professors here, और या कोई अद्वैत वेदांत का कोई माहिर इधर होगा जो बताएगा कि एक उत्तराखंड के साधु बता रहे थे, ये जो ज्यादा दृष्टा दृश्य करते रहते हैं ना, जान लो महात्मा जी ये कच्चे वेदांती हैं। Because this difference between drashta and drishya is not the ultimate teaching of Vedanta. Vedanta is not a teaching of difference. ये करके आप छोड़ दोगे तो philosophically this is the state of Sankhya, पुरुष प्रकृति का विभाग हो गया। इससे आगे भी जाना है। वेदांत में कहते हैं कि अच्छा दृश्य तो तुमने अलग कर दिया, दुनिया शरीर मन सब अलग आपसे, आप बैठ गए दृष्टा। तो एक महात्मा जी बता रहे थे कि तो ठीक है दृष्टा बाबू, तो आपको लग रहा है ना कि आप दृष्टा हो गए? तो महात्मा लोगों ने बताया कि हाँ। Then that sadhu said कि बहुत बड़े गड्ढे में गिरने वाले हो, because if you try to make the mind a दृष्टा, जिसको आप दृष्टा बनाओगे, वो बनावटी दृष्टा फिर चला जाएगा, वो एक स्प्रिंग की तरह है, आप उस पर बैठोगे तो डर जाएगा, छोड़ दोगे तो फिर तुरंत आ जाएगा। जो अपना स्वरूप है, चैतन्य है, वो स्वरूप से दृष्टा है, by its very nature it's a witness, you don't have to make it the witness। मन को आप दृष्टा बना सकते हैं by practice, but that practiced दृष्टा is only temporary, it will again go away। The witness of the mind is permanently drashta. उसको जानना है, उसको बनाना नहीं है. And not only that, ultimately in Advaita, that witness consciousness is the reality of the entire universe. इससे अलग नहीं, जो दृष्टा हमने दृश्य अलग कर दिया, उसके बाद next step in Advaita is ये पूरा जो दृश्य प्रपंच है, ये दृष्टा का ही विलास है. You, the consciousness, are appearing as your object of consciousness. So there is a unity. It's not two separate things. ये सारा दुनिया जो आपका दृश्य है, ये आपका ही स्वरूप है, ये आपका खेल है. I'll leave it at that because I have to complete it. Those who are philosophy professors or students या अद्वैत वेदांत के जो students हैं, they will say ये कोई क्या आधा वेदांत बता के चला गया. Otherwise, very good. तो मैंने 4 स्तर आपको बताए. We will go into Q&A. First is कर्म विभाग है. जो निष्काम कर्म है, when you do things for others, automatically it reduces stress, gives you peace. Second, love of God. जैसे भी हो, आपके मजहब में जैसे भी हो, if you can love God, महात्मा जी विश्वास नहीं होता है, ठीक है, विश्वास नहीं होता, just start mechanically also. आपके यहाँ एक राम की पिक्चर है, हनुमान जी की मूर्ति है, फूल चढ़ाओ, सुबह शाम थोड़ा हनुमान चालीसा का रिकॉर्ड बजा दो. Just start, make a beginning. वो भक्ति अपने आप बढ़ती जाएगी. So love of God is a great source of peace and strength. तीसरी बात जो है योग का स्तर, ध्यान का स्तर, उसमें शांति मिलती है. Overcoming stress. And finally, last one is the fourth one which I spoke about. Who am I? ज्ञान का स्तर. मैं हूं कौन आखिर? ये शरीर हूं या मन हूं? नहीं, मैं इनका दृष्टा दृश्य. मैं दृष्टा हूं, मैं चैतन्य हूं. These 4 are the levels by which Vedanta, all spirituality actually, you can handle, you can manage stress and attain peace and happiness. So Dr. Bhagat, is that all right?
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Thank you.
It has been great learning experience, great insights, great enlightenment. Thank you so much.
If
now
the
Vijaya
people with
ma'am.
questions, yes.
Surely.
Swamiji, we have question.
Jay.
Our first question is, how Holy Book Gita help us to attain happiness?
So who's asking this?
I don't know, Swamiji, but I have received this question.
Oh, okay, fine. So how the Holy Book Gita helps us to attain happiness. In fact, whatever I said to you now are the 4 different levels. ये सब Gita से लिया हुआ है. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita is one of the foundational texts of Vedanta. Vedanta में जो आप root texts, आप उसको संस्कृत में कहते हैं प्रस्थानत्रयी. The source are the Upanishads, and then the teachings of the Upanishads are condensed in the Bhagavad Gita, and there's another text called the Brahma Sutras. So the Bhagavad Gita is actually the practical application of the wisdom of the Upanishads. And there, one speciality of the Gita, बहुत कुछ है उसमें, खूबियां तो बहुत हैं, एक हम बताते हैं कि notice how Krishna taught Arjuna to be spiritual in daily life. उनको ये नहीं बताए, बोले कि आप महात्मा बन जाओ, ठीक है, आपको अध्यात्म करना है, आपको लड़ाई मत करो, चले जाओ हिमालय में, आप सन्यासी बन के रह जाओ. Not at all. He taught him how to be in the battlefield of life and be spiritual. तो आप जो भी हैं, जहां भी हैं, you can be and should be spiritual. You should meditate, you should practice bhakti, you should practice karma yoga, and you should do Vedantic inquiry. ये सिर्फ महात्मा के लिए नहीं है, उससे ज्यादा आपके लिए है. आप जो कर्म क्षेत्र में हैं, जहां पर भी है, जो भी उम्र है, you're a man or a woman, you are a student or a teacher, a businessman or a soldier, whichever, and of course a monk, whichever field of action you are in, the Gita, the speciality of the Gita is it teaches you how to spiritualize your life. जो आपका work life है, family life है, how to spiritualize it. You'll be happy to know, one more just comment, you'll be happy to know that last year when I was at Harvard, I saw with how much interest the Bhagavad Gita was studied. So there was a full course. And हम लोगों की ऐसी आदत है, I must say, because most of the audience here are Indian, so I can share with you. I will not say this to an American audience, but लेकिन आपको बताते हैं हम. we were studying the Gita at the Harvard Divinity School, and there was one Indian girl. I will not name her; she might hear about this. There was an Indian girl who was studying engineering, and she took this course on the Bhagavad Gita. And then later she was telling me, कि स्वामी जी हमारे पेरेंट्स जो हैं इंडिया से, तो वो लोग सब बोलते हैं पेरेंट्स कजिन्स कि तुम हार्वर्ड में जाके गीता पढ़ रही हो, तो गीता पढ़ना चाहते तो तुम इधर रह रहे थे, तो इट्स लाइक इट्स नॉट समथिंग नॉट वर्थ रीडिंग. ऐसा नहीं है. You should encourage that student, your son or daughter is interested in studying. So it is. I was surprised at how many. There were only 2 or 3 Indians in the class. Everybody else, and they were all graduate students. So कोई हर एक अपने फील्ड में expert है, माहिर है. तो with how much interest they studied the Gita. So this is one point I wanted to share with you.
Swamiji, I also want to ask a question.
जी.
हम जानते हैं, जैसे कहते हैं माया का खेल है, एक से ही अनेक हो गया, and I am pure bliss consciousness. So why is so much conflict in the society amongst people, amongst various religions? जब एक से ही अनेक हुआ है और वो pure consciousness है. This is my first doubt.
It's a big question, Dr. Bhagat ma'am. So let me just say, इतना ही कहते हैं कि आपके प्रश्न में ही इसका जवाब है. एक में तो कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है नहीं, लेकिन जब अनेक हो जाते हैं मतलब when there's difference and plurality, and so there is always the potential for conflict, friction. एक दूसरे से हम लोग जो हमारा सोर्स जो एक है वो हमको दिखता नहीं है, हमको जस्ट फर्क दिखता है कि मैं I belong to this religion, you belong to that religion, I belong to this political party, I belong to that political party. आप लोग समझते होंगे इंडिया में आप पॉलिटिक्स लेकर ये पार्टी वो पार्टी लेके इतना इमोशनल लोग हो जाते हैं. इट्स द सेम थिंग हियर और मोर हियर. डेमोक्रेट और रिपब्लिकन लेके अब तो दिन रात वही चलता रहता है इधर यूएसए में. सो इट्स बिकॉज वी सी द डिफरेंसेस एंड वी डोंट सी द अंडरलाइंग वननेस. तो ये अध्यात्म जो है, इट हेल्प्स अस टू सी द अंडरलाइंग वननेस बाय ज्ञान एंड भक्ति एंड कर्म एंड ध्यान.
नहीं, पर स्वामी जी जब एक अनेक होता है तो एक भी वो प्योर ब्लिस है और दूसरा भी तो प्योर ब्लिस है, तीसरा भी तो प्योर ब्लिस है. क्या उसका स्वरूप पता है कि वो अनेक हो जाता है? तो आप भी ब्लिस हैं तो मैं भी ब्लिस हूँ, तो व्हाई डोंट वी सी दैट, व्हाई डोंट वी वाइब वेल विद ईच अदर?
यस, तो जो प्योर ब्लिस है वो तो एक ही है. दैट इज ट्रू एंड दैट्स ऑलवेज देयर, बट दैट्स हिडन फ्रॉम अस. तो अनेक होने का बेसिस क्या है? अगर हम सब प्योर ब्लिस है, सत है, चित है, आनंद है, then why are we different? Clearly we are different because अब देखो, bodies are different, our minds are different, our personal histories are different. तो ये difference, there is unity and oneness at the basis, at the level of the Atman. But as we evolve, or as Maya projects the Atman, जो अनंत है उसको ससीम दिखाता है, limited. जो इमॉर्टल है उसको जन्म मरने वाला दिखाता है. दिस इज प्ले ऑफ माया. जो आनंद है उसको सुख दुख वाला जीव दिखाता है. जो चेतन है उसको वेकिंग ड्रीमिंग डीप स्लीप, जगने वाला, सोने वाला, सपना दिखने वाला जीव बन जाता है वो. दिस इज द प्ले ऑफ माया. बट देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम इन दिस if we recognize that our reality is still there. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग वो खो दिए हैं, वो है, वो दिखता नहीं है. That's because that's the root of all our problems.
And second, my query is that as you were also talking, in Harvard University, people are studying Gita and they have great interest in spirituality. We have, spiritual traditions in India are so rich. So why are we losing that touch with spirituality, and what should we do to bring about that change in our systems and society?
जी,
क्या करना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए, और ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है कि हमारी गिरावट हो रही है और उधर हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स में इंटरेस्ट पैदा हो रहा है?
जी, तो एक है कि our society is a fast changing and evolving society. It's only in 1947 that we got independence, and then we have been trying out different economic systems, and a lot of things have been changing in our society. Especially in the last 20 to 30 years, there's been tremendous change in our society. So a changing society, it is natural that many different experiments will go on. So इसकी कई वजह हैं. एक वजह मैं आपसे बताता हूँ कि बिकॉज आई हैड सम इंटरेस्ट इन एजुकेशन बिफोर आई केम टू द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स. रामकृष्ण मिशन के जो स्कूल ऑफ एजुकेशन है, आई वाज देयर इन बेलूर मठ इन कोलकाता, शिक्षण मंदिर में. So there I noticed 1948 University Education Commission, Dr. Radhakrishnan Commission jo. Oh, by the way, you'll be interested in knowing the Harvard में जो department में I was attached to, the Center for Study of World Religions, जो divinity school से related है, that was inaugurated by Dr. Radhakrishnan. आप उस हम लोग को बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं है. If you enter that, you will see a picture of Dr. Radhakrishnan there. So he is held with great regard there. तो University Education Commission में Dr. Radhakrishnan had given, there's a full chapter on religious education. He considers that in a secular country, a constitution, does it prevent you from teaching religion? He says, no. आप किसी एक मजहब को सिखाएंगे, that is not right, but you can teach the high and noble ideas of every religion. वो पूरा syllabus बना दिए थे. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, our policymakers later on, they adopted many recommendations of Radhakrishnan Commission, University Education Commission. लेकिन वो chapter पूरा की पूरा छोड़ दिया. That is a loss. I think it should have been introduced. So you need not teach religion, but what prevents you from studying religion? यहाँ हम देखते हैं, I find that study of Hinduism, for example, is almost entirely in the hand of Western academicians. Why? One reason is, इनकी दोष नहीं है, इनकी तो interest है इसमें, but दोष हम लोगों की है, because we don't have qualified people. इधर भी हम देखते हैं कि the children of Indians, well-to-do Indian families here in the United States, and those who are coming from India, so they all want to be doctors, engineers, lawyers, architects. Nobody really wants to study philosophy or religion. And your professors, they say that, see, all our students in the Hinduism classes, Buddhism classes are Westerners. The Hindus or Buddhists, Hindus especially, the Indians, they don't want to come to these classes. So ये एक lack of interest है. So this is one reason. I think it's a great resource. And the sooner we recognize it and integrate it into our education, into our curriculum, कुछ तो हो रहा है इंडिया में अभी. Yes, and that is good for us. Otherwise, क्या है कि सीखना पड़ेगा बहुत कष्ट झेल के. After a lot, as you were saying, suicides are increasing, suffering is increasing. Yes, and we start searching कि क्या वजह है, and then we see it's because we lack a source of internal strength, being centered in peace internally. बहुत सारा चीज इधर हो रहा है in the name of positive psychology, mindfulness, जो the source is all from India, and that's being taken from India and then recycled here and packaged through अमुक हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर, तमुक हैं कैलिफोर्निया के कैलटेक के प्रोफेसर, उनके बुक्स पे निकल रहे हैं, but the source is in some technique which is derived from Indian traditions, almost always. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Vijaya ma'am, any other questions?
Especially if there are students, if they want to ask questions. Yes.
I think there is some problem with audio.
They must be muted then. Let me see.
हाँ जी स्वामी जी, ध्यान के लिए प्रत्याहार का क्या महत्व है?
ध्यान के लिए प्रत्याहार का क्या महत्व है? So pratyahara is one of the steps in the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. So in Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, you will find that is basically the most sophisticated teaching on meditation, the Yoga Sutra, the most ancient teaching on meditation. तो उसमें 8 steps नहीं है, वो अंग हैं, limbs, let us say. So 8 limbs of yoga. तो उसमें है आपका यम है, नियम है, जो पहले moral do's and don'ts, basically moral discipline. Then there is asana, how to sit. And then there is breathing, because breathing is deeply connected with the state of our mind. Pranayama, breathing. Then there is pratyahara. Pratyahara is withdrawing the senses from the world. If you do not, a lot of our cognitive activity of the brain is connected with processing sense data. तो आँख खुली है, बाहर से म्यूजिक आ रहा है. I'm just reminded, यहाँ के मशहूर विद्वान है leading intellectual in the United States or worldwide, Noam Chomsky. So I was just reading recently. He's here in MIT. He's retired now, emeritus. तो वो एक जगह इंटरव्यू में बोल रहे हैं कि वो अपने लाइफ के बारे में बता रहे हैं, and you would see how much of a yogi. So intellectual, by the time you become you dedicate yourself to a field of study, you automatically become like a yogi. So वो बोल रहे हैं कि दिन में क्या खाते हैं, सुबह एक पर्टिकुलर ब्रेकफास्ट जो लास्ट 30 साल से खा रहे हैं, बहुत सिंपल, एक सैंडविच खाते हैं, दोपहर को एक केला खाते हैं, कुछ खरीदते ही नहीं है. He has no demands, no purchases, nothing. In one place he says he watched his grandson or somebody doing homework. एक बच्चा 10 साल का वो होमवर्क कर रहा है, तो नोम चॉम्स्की उनको देख रहे हैं, इंटरव्यू में बता रहे हैं कि मैं देखा कि वो बच्चा अपने that kid put earphones, उसमें म्यूजिक सुन रहा है, कंप्यूटर से प्लग्ड हुआ है, अपने फ्रेंड से फेसबुक में बात कर रहा है, इधर सोशल मीडिया में कुछ कर रहा है, और बीच बीच में होमवर्क कर रहा है. तो नोम चॉम्स्की इज सेइंग, ये कोई योगी नहीं बोल रहा है, कोई भगवत गीता वाले नहीं बोल रहे, बाबा जी नहीं बोल रहे, नोम चॉम्स्की इज सेइंग, बोलो ऐसा पढ़ाई होता है. He's saying, how can you study if you're like this, if your focus is scattered in so many different ways? तो प्रत्याहार का ये है कि आप बाहर का स्टिमुलस बंद करो. आंख इसीलिए बंद करना पड़ता है या हाफ ओपन रखना पड़ता है, शांत जगह में. आप तो कान टोटली बंद नहीं कर सकते, इसलिए आप टू स्टे इन अ क्वाइट प्लेस. In India, for example, we have lost the importance of being quiet. तो इतना noisy है, ये पता चलता है इधर आके. So Manhattan, for example, New York is one of the busiest places in the whole world. They say, यहाँ का कहावत है कि the city that never sleeps, and the city that never sleeps. तो लेकिन यहाँ पर भी जो शांति बनाए रखते हैं लोग, आवाज इतना कम है. So quietness is very important for any kind of serious work, whether it is study or meditation. So pratyahar, withdrawing. Then you turn the mind inwards. उसके बाद focus आता है, concentration, जिसको कहते हैं धारणा. धारणा is basically holding on to one subject for a period of time. जो भी आप meditation कर रहे हैं. Then that deepens into, आप focus कर पाएंगे तो वहां से जाता है ध्यान, meditation, and finally वो समाधि हो जाता है. So dharana is the crucial phase where external practices, कैसे बैठना है, कैसे breathing करना है, ये external है. And ध्यान जो internal है, धारणा internal है, ये दोनों के बीच में bridge है, ये प्रत्याहार. You turning the senses away from their objects. बहुत जरूरी है, not just for meditation, for any kind of serious work.
Swamiji, Bhaskar Roy wants to ask question. Bhaskar Roy, you unmute yourself, please. Bhaskar Roy.
Let's see.
Dr. Archana Bhatia.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
This is Bhaskar. Pranam to Swamiji and all the members, all the participants. I'm Bhaskar Rai from India, Guwahati. Right.
Okay.
I'm a scholar of law and CS as well. So due to pandemic issue, so final semester has not been over yet. So most of the time I visit the Ramakrishna Mission over here. Okay. So
I've
I
also
follow
visited
a few books of
Guwahati
Swamiji.
Ramakrishna Mission, I've also visited. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice place.
Okay, so I follow many books in my life although in tender age, but my core question is that Swamiji, in this material realm, we cannot, as my personal observation, we cannot just clutching, we cannot just liberate from the clutches of this material realm. So which is the right book I should follow as a student, as a law scholar, or as a company secretary scholar, that I can discerning that I should have the, I must have the discerning ability to which is the right and which is the wrong, and I can follow my path of action. Swamijir Karma Yoga জীবনটা যেন follow করতে পারি, Karma Yoga path.
Yes. Bhaskar Rai, thank you for that question. It's an important question. It's all right to talk about meditation and Vedanta and all of that, but the thing is, how do I do it in my day-to-day life as and you're struggling as a student to complete your studies in the middle of this coronavirus epidemic, and so how do you do that? The answer is in Bhaskar's own statement. You see, the best book for that is Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga. I have seen how popular it is, that here is something that allows us to transform this life. You don't have to have a separate life and that have to go to the ashram and meditate in a meditation center. Right now, you're staying at home and studying, trying to complete your studies, take care of your family, and go ahead in life. How can I spiritualize this life? And that's done by Karma Yoga. Sister Nivedita, she gives the introduction to Swami Vivekananda's complete works, and she says, henceforth, no difference between work and worship. To labor is to pray. To work, to hard work, that is equal to prayer. And she says that the office, the classroom, the workshop, these are equally good places for meeting between man and God as is the cell of a monk or a temple. So how to do that? Karma Yoga will teach you that and gives you strength also. Yeah. Good question, Bhaskar.
Could you suggest any book name particular? Could you suggest any book name, Swamiji?
Yes,
particular
yes.
Any book name?
In general, the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, and you read the introduction by Sister Nivedita, volume 1 of Swami Vivekananda's complete works. You'll easily get it in the Guwahati Ashram Library or bookshop. And the Karma Yoga, the book you mentioned, there's a book called Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. Karma Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. If you read that, you will get wonderful direction and inspiration of how to do work. Who was next?
Dr. Archana Bhatia, you can ask question. Dr. Archana Bhatia.
Yes.
नमस्कार स्वामी जी, मैं इसी कॉलेज में हूँ, कॉमर्स डिपार्टमेंट में, और आपका लेक्चर मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं थोड़ा सा अपने कुछ विचार आपके साथ शेयर करना चाह रही थी. बीइंग अ टीचर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो सारा इशू है स्ट्रेस का और हैप्पीनेस का, वो कहीं ना कहीं हमारे से ग्रास रूट लेवल के ऊपर जुड़ता है, क्योंकि बीइंग अ पेरेंट्स, बीइंग अ टीचर, और जो सोसाइटी का इस समय स्ट्रक्चर है, उसमें हम कहीं पर भी अपने बच्चों को और खुद को खुश रहना नहीं सिखाते. अगर बचपन से हम अपने बच्चों को खुश रहना सिखाएं तो मुझे लगता है कि वो स्ट्रेस में कम रहें. दूसरा, इस समय सोसाइटी में जो रीडिंग हैबिट्स हैं यंग जनरेशन में, वो बहुत कम हो गई हैं, क्योंकि ज्यादा समय उनका सोशल मीडिया पे निकलता है. तो जितना हम पढ़ेंगे होली बुक्स को, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की टीचिंग्स को या गीता को, मुझे लगता है उतना ज्यादा हम उसमें से कुछ अच्छा अपने जीवन में ले पाएंगे. लेकिन इसके साथ मुझे लगता है स्वामी जी, जो विजडम है दैट ऑलवेज डांस फ्रॉम इनसाइड. हम कोई काम करना चाहते हैं तो हम उसके लिए 10 तरीके निकाल लेते हैं, और अगर हम कोई काम नहीं करना चाहते तो हमारे पास एक बहाना ही बहुत है. और इस समय जैसे कोविड-19 में भी स्ट्रेस बढ़ा है लोगों में, जैसे सविता मैम ने बताया कि सुसाइडल टेंडेंसीज भी बढ़ी हैं, और जो इंडिया में सुसाइडल रेट है वो भी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ा है. उसका मेन रीजन यही है कि हम कहीं ना कहीं मेंटली स्टेबल नहीं है. और जो मेंटल स्टेबिलिटी के लिए कहीं ना कहीं जो हमारी एजुकेशन है, चाहे वो प्राइमरी लेवल पे हो या फिर हायर एजुकेशन लेवल पे हो, एथिकल वैल्यूज को समझाया जाना और इश्यूज को कल्टीवेट करना और स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर थोड़ा सा इनकलकेट करना एक टीचर की भी एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है. तो जब हम बड़े हो जाते हैं, जैसे मैं भी हूँ प्रोफेशन में, वहां पे जो मेन सोर्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस हमारे लिए रहता है, जो हमें खुश नहीं रहने देता, दैट इज बेसिकली अ जेलसी, अ कॉम्पिटिटिव स्पिरिट, और ओहदों की जेलसी है, पैसा पाने की जेलसी है, कई सारी चीजें हैं जो जुड़ी रहती हैं आपस में. तो मुझे लगता है स्वामी जी, बातें तो वही आम है जीवन में, आपने बहुत विशेष तरीके से उनको बताया. और ये जो आम सी बातें हैं, ये कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि सोसाइटी में एक टीचर का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल है यंग जनरेशन को संभालने का और समझाने का. और
डॉक्टर अर्चना भाटिया, आप अपना क्वेश्चन पूछिए प्लीज.
हाँ जी, मेरा क्वेश्चन है आपसे स्वामी जी कि क्या जो होली बुक्स होती हैं, जैसे गीता है, मैंने गीता को बहुत बार पढ़ा, लेकिन मैं उसको सही अर्थों में समझ आज तक नहीं पाई. तो कहीं होली बुक्स हमें मदद करती हैं स्ट्रेस फ्री रहने के लिए और हैप्पीनेस को अटेन करने के लिए?
आपने स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की बुक बताई जिसमें आपने कहा कि कर्म योग को पढ़िए, तो कुछ इसके ऊपर प्लीज प्रकाश डालिए।
जी, आपके विचार बहुत अच्छे हैं and I'm glad to see that. And it is true that education and teachers and parents have a central role to play. लेकिन एक चीज याद रखना चाहिए कि बच्चे, स्पेशली यंग चिल्ड्रन, यू नो, जहाँ तक पढ़ने की सवाल है, they don't learn by listening or by reading. It's a saying that children don't listen, they imitate. तो एक एज होता है जहां वो देखते हैं पेरेंट्स को, टीचर्स को, जो आप कर रहे हैं वही वो करेंगे, ना कि जो आप उनको बताएंगे कि ये करना है वो करना है, वो नहीं करेंगे वो. सो इट इज it's our duty, or if you really want that the children should be happy, and all parents do want it, बोलने से वैसे नहीं होगा. You have to transform your own life. और रही जो suicidal tendencies की बात, it is true, pressure से होती है, lack of stability, anxiety, ये सब से होती है, but it's basically it comes from deep within the psyche of the person. हम आपको बताएं, just 2 years back, I think 1 year back, 2 of the top people in Manhattan society, एक थे दुनिया के सबसे जाने माने शेफ एंटोनी बोर्डेन, and another one was like the top in her world of fashion design, Kate Spade. So about, I think 1 year, 1.5 years back, मैनहट्टन में बहुत मशहूर लोग थे. Both of them committed suicide within few weeks of each other. And there was an editorial in a magazine कि अच्छा, ये अमेरिकन ड्रीम जो हमारा है, इसमें जो मोस्ट सक्सेसफुल है, सब कुछ मिलने के बाद, यू आर वेरी रिच, यू आर वेरी फेमस, यू आर द टॉप इन योर फील्ड, सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है, उसके बाद भी क्यों इतना एम्प्टीनेस है आप में कि आप सुसाइड कर रहे हैं? So that it shows that it's not that just because there is friction in society, in family, there is frustration in our lives, उसीलिए हम I've become mentally devastated, suicide करने जा रहे हैं. नहीं, materially if somebody is completely successful also, फिर भी fulfillment नहीं आती है. ये एक सीखने वाली बात है. ऐसा नहीं है कि अब हम इंडिया में इस माहौल में हैं, अगर हम कल यूएसए चले जाएं, कहीं पर कैलिफोर्निया में या मैनहट्टन में ठहरें, तब it'll be all right, we'll be like I'll be in heaven. एकदम ही नहीं, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं. ये the whole thing is internal. Internal क्या है? ये हमारे the ancients, they understood very well that the ultimate goal of life cannot be material. वो धर्म अर्थ काम सब रखें, but ultimately they kept an aim, moksha. मोक्ष और spiritual freedom, spirituality, जिसको आप modern philosophical language में transcendence कह सकते हैं. So that should be a part of everybody's life, not just सन्यासी के लिए है, कोई दार्शनिक के लिए है, ऐसा नहीं. सबके जीवन में रहना चाहिए कि ultimately all of this is secondary. एक दिन I will become old, others will take my place, one day I will die, then I have to go on from this life. So ultimately the little things that I've done in this life are secondary. जो अंदर है, spiritual life tells me, Gita tells me, all other holy books tell me that there is an ultimate spiritual reality which is beyond this world, and that is real. उसको पकड़ के जीवन जिया, not to ignore life, but to live life, but centered in spirituality, not centered in money, not centered in name and fame, not centered कि मैं अपने relatives से बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा हूँ या पैसे वाला हूँ या मैं मेरे बच्चे अमेरिका में पढ़ रहे हैं. So this is not the measure of my success. The measure of my success is how centered am I. जो चिदानंद रूप शिवो हम बोल रहे हैं, ये सच लगता है कि नहीं हमको, या हम भक्त हैं कि मेरे गोपाल या मेरी माँ काली या दुर्गा, जो भी है, in whichever form, is that important to me. वो बचाएगा लाइफ में. And this is something that if we do, children also. See, the thing is, in India, we are very fortunate because we have this tremendous resource. दुनिया में कहीं पर नहीं है. In the world of, I think it was Mark Twain who said, in the world of religion, there is only one millionaire, and that is India. He said, जो सच में धनी है, धनवान है, आध्यात्मिक spirituality, वो इंडिया है. So, yeah, you're right, absolutely.
Thank you, Swami. Thanks.
Anurag ji,
हाँ जी
Swami ji, Anurag ji wants to ask question. Anurag ji, you can unmute yourself, please. Yes,
Ji.
please.
Swamiji, I have a few very pointed things to ask you. I've been watching your videos and I've been reading your books. First,
So where are you from? Are you speaking from India or? Hello, are you speaking from India?
I'm in India. I'm in Bombay.
जी बताइए.
हाँ जी. तो सबसे पहली बात तो मुझे आपको ये पूछनी थी कि आपने एक अपनी टॉक में कहा था कि there was an article, a 20-page article about free will. If you could, I would love to read that. If you could send it to me.
जी हम कैसे भेजें आपको? I can you just.
I can email you on your email ID, or if I can get it from one of the.
Or I think, can a file be shared over Facebook? I can. You can just.
I can add you as.
You can just put a request on the
friend and then you can send it.
Vedanta Society New York Facebook.
हाँ जी, ठीक है.
Put a request and I'll ask the administrator to send you that file.
हाँ जी.
Okay.
हाँ जी, perfect. Secondly, I was reading Ashtavakra Gita some time back, and I was also listening to you, and it talks about asangatvam.
Ji.
And in the Nirvana Shatakam, if we go to the sixth verse, aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupo vivitvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam nacha sangatam naiva muktirnam. So that nacha sangatam, can you please elaborate a little bit on nacha sangatam?
जो संगतम और असंगत्वम जो अष्टावक्र में है वो एक ही है. See, एक तरह का असंग होता है. असंग means detached. एक तरह का असंग होता है which we practice mentally. एक at the physical level, कोई सन्यासी बन गया तो बोलता है कि अभी I do not have any connection with my professional life, with my family life. हमारे लिए सब एक हो गए. माँ बाप, relatives. I don't have any. ये मेरे हैं और दूसरे हैं, ऐसा नहीं. सबसे मैं असंग हो गया. If you become asang with everybody, then everybody becomes the same to you. It's a very interesting principle. तो ये externally हुआ. फिर mentally हम एक practice करते हैं कि everybody is the same to me. I have no connection with any special connection. किसी से लिपटो मत. जो आता है उसको आने दो और आप बोलो आओ बैठो एक कप चाय पिलाओ. जाएगा तो आप नमस्कार करो, बाय बाय करो. The whole problem is we get attached to it. We hold on to certain things and we resist other things. ये भी mental level पर है. असली बात तो है at the level of your real nature as consciousness. Your nature as consciousness is asanga. Nothing sticks to it. ये अब बहुत गंभीर तत्व बता रहे हैं. The reason is from an Advaitic perspective. आपको ये 2 स्टेप में बताते हैं. पहले सांख्यन perspective में. Consciousness nothing sticks to consciousness. If you look at yourself as awareness, everything that you experience in life, it appears in your awareness. It is something that you see or hear or smell or taste or touch, something you think or remember, you desire or hate. These are all appearances in awareness. And they disappear in awareness. Awareness के साथ कोई चिपक के नहीं रहता है. They all come in. So basically, a good example is, in a room there are many things. बहुत items हैं और एक light है ऊपर. Then light shines equally on everybody on the room, every item in the room. और आप इस सबको हटा दोगे तो light उसके साथ नहीं जाएगी. Light वही shine करेगी. दूसरे item ले आओगे, light will illumine and shine on that. The light is not attached to anything. Not only that, it is not affected by anything. कोई गंदी चीज लाइट के सामने रखो उसको भी इल्यूमिन करेगा. लाइट गंदा नहीं हो जाता है. कोई पवित्र चीज आप रखो उसके सामने, लाइट पवित्र उससे नहीं हो जाता है. You are like, not only like, you are exactly like that light, awareness. आपको ये बनना नहीं है, आपको ये पहचानना है कि you are already that, you are effortlessly that. तो ये एक स्टेप हुआ. इससे भी गहन स्टेप ये है कि देखो, light and the thing which is illumined by light, you, the awareness and whatever you experience in awareness, that still seems to be a difference. Subject object है, illuminer, illumined है. लेकिन अल्टीमेट रियलिटी ये है कि जो आप इल्यूम देख रहे हैं, जो अनुभव कर रहे हैं, वो आपसे अलग नहीं है। असंग इसलिए है, इट्स नॉट दैट कॉन्शियसनेस इज टेफलन कोटेड एंड नथिंग स्टिक्स टू इट, नॉन स्टिक क्या पैन जैसा है, वैसा नहीं। It's because the deep philosophical reason behind it is, the ultimate reason behind it is, there is actually nothing other than consciousness. So देखो, clay and pot. A pot is made of clay. Does the pot name and form stick to clay? No. क्योंकि वो pot clay से अलग कुछ है ही नहीं। किससे क्या stick? दो चीज stick करेंगे when जब दो हो ना, जब दो ही ना है, एक दो की तरह भास रहा है, then there will be no sticking. There is no separation between you and what you experience. You alone appear as all of this. जो रज्जू, जो रस्सी,
रज्जू सर्प,
हाँ, जो हम गलती से सर्प देख रहे हैं, तो वो सर्प क्या रज्जू से स्टिक करेगी? नहीं करेगी। इसका कारण है कि सर्प है ही नहीं। जब दो नहीं है, क्या कौन किससे स्टिक करेगा? तो द असंगत्वम has to be practiced and understood at the physical level, at the mental level, but philosophically, more importantly, at the level of consciousness. उसमें भी दो भाग मैंने कर दिया, एक सांख्यन लेवल है, एक अद्वैतिक लेवल है। This is the meaning.
So is that what he means by nacha asangatvam, or is it nacha sangatvam when he says?
दोनों आप पढ़ सकते हैं उसको। संग तो किसी के साथ नहीं है आपका, और असंग भी किसी के साथ नहीं है, because everything is one with you. It's not a second thing with you.
So that is nacha sangatam.
nacha sangatam. न मुक्ति न मेय। मुक्ति किसका होगा? जो बंधन में है ना। आप तो बंधन में ही नहीं है। So this is like the highest statement of Advaita, but you can read it as asanga also.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Very good question. Thank you.
Now, last question from our senior faculty member, Dr. D.P. Vaidji. This is the last question, क्योंकि अब बहुत समय हो गया है। स्वामी जी को फिर हम फिर समय लेंगे। तो अभी लास्ट क्वेश्चन, डॉक्टर डी.पी. वैद।
सर एक बार अनम्यूट। हाँ, यस यू आर अनम्यूटेड।
हेलो
जी, नमस्कार
सर।
सर आपका फैकल्टी क्या है?
स्वामी जी प्रणाम। Yeah, I am faculty member, D.P. Vaid, in the same college, D.V. Centenary College, sir. Sir, I have a humble submission that is it possible to fall in love with the God whom I never seen? Is it possible only on the thought process level? Only on the thought process level? I may quote here, sir, the Adi Grantha, बिन पेखे कहो प्यार कैसा। उससे प्यार तो करना होगा, कैसे करें प्यार? क्या सोचने मात्र से प्यार होगा? प्यार हो जाए। मैंने तो उसको कभी देखा ही नहीं है इनफैक्ट, और जिसको हम देखते नहीं स्वामी जी, उससे प्यार भी नहीं होगा, ऐसा तो सभी ने माना है। Then,
जी, इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन। लेकिन आप देखो, जितने भी भक्त हुए हैं in every religion, all of them have faced the same problem. तो हम जो एकदम अनजान है उससे तो प्यार नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ईश्वर भगवान एकदम अनजान नहीं है। क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि हमारे जो ट्रेडिशंस हैं, इतने संत महात्मा हुए हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े भक्त हुए हैं, उनके जीवन हम पढ़ते हैं, और about God, Ishwar, we read about that in our texts. So in the Gita or Guru Granth Sahib, or in all of these texts, we read about it and we form an idea. ये अनजान नहीं है एकदम. It's not completely unknown to us. हाँ, हमने आंखों से नहीं देखा है, हमको वो mystic vision नहीं हुई अभी तक. But before that, we can certainly fall in love. It's not just a concept. Once you start, ये धीरे धीरे बढ़ता है. तो भक्ति की ये महिमा है कि आप शुरू कर दो, even if it seems theoretical, even if it seems imaginary, even if it seems mechanical, आप अगर शुरू कर दोगे, वो धीरे धीरे बढ़ती है और फैलती है अपने जीवन में, and after some time you'll see it has become a great truth in your life.
But is possible, how it's possible, I mean, to fall in love perfectly with the God. That is our ultimate aim, I think.
हाँ, वो धीरे धीरे होगा. एक बढ़िया प्रैक्टिस ये है, टू फॉल इन लव, रीड अबाउट लवर्स. तो जो आप मीराबाई की जीवनी पढ़िए, आप जो सिख गुरु हुए हैं उनकी जीवनी पढ़िए, आप जो बड़े बड़े साधक साधिका हुए हैं हमारे हिंदू धर्म में या सिखिज्म में, जो आस्तिक धर्म, मतलब जो सम रिलीजन्स आर थीइस्टिक, जिसमें ईश्वर और भक्ति के आप, सो उसमें आप पढ़िए. क्रिश्चियनिटी में, सो द ग्रेट प्रैक्टिशनर्स ऑफ दिस रिलीजन, उनका आप जीवनी पढ़ेंगे, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. आप पढ़ेंगे, उसका जो प्रेम आप में संचार हो जाएगी. When you read about the love of Meera for Krishna, you begin to feel some of that. Yeah, इससे शुरू होती है भक्ति और पुष्टि भी होती है. परफेक्शन जो आप बोल रहे हैं वो तो बहुत दूर की बात है.
What's the way out?
वो ईश्वर कृपा से हो जाएगी. Once you start. देखिए ये बहुत बड़ी बात है कि अपनी ओर से नहीं है. ये जो प्रेम है, भक्ति है, इसका एक बहुत बड़ा महिमा ये है कि इसमें ईश्वर खुद खुश होते हैं. योग में ज्ञान, ईश्वर, इट्स आवर एफर्ट, बट हियर द एक्चुअल एफर्ट इज फ्रॉम गॉड साइड. हम लोग शुरू कर देते हैं, बाकी का वो करता है.
जिष्णु देव है सोजन पावन
जी.
थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू सर. थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी.
थैंक यू स्वामी जी. थैंक यू स्वामी जी. बहुत ही एनलाइटनिंग हमारा सेशन रहा. बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं आपकी बातें याद रख रही हूँ, जिसमें आपने बात की 4 लेवल्स की. पहला कर्म, निष्काम कर्म, भक्ति, लव फॉर गॉड, लव ऑफ गॉड, जिसमें हम टोटल शरणागति, सरेंडर भाव में आए टू ओवरकम मेंटल टेंशन. और थर्ड जो लेवल है वो है योग और ध्यान. वी एक्सपीरियंस लव एंड दिस गिव्स हैप्पीनेस इन आवर लाइफ. और लास्ट जो मुझे महसूस हुआ वही कि जो ज्ञान है, ज्ञान की जो बात की, लास्ट 4th जो लेवल है, पिलर है हमारा लाइफ का, ज्ञान से हमें अवेयरनेस आती है, सजगता आती है, जिसमें आपने हमें अभी बताया कि आप स्वयं शांति हैं. आप शांत मन दृश्य है, लेकिन शांत मन के हम दृष्टा हैं. बहुत सुंदर आपने हमें ज्ञान दिया. हम इस ज्ञान के बहुत आभारी हैं स्वामी जी. अब मैं जो लास्ट हमारी कड़ी है इस सेशन की, वोट ऑफ थैंक्स. No duty is more important than that of expressing thanks. The pleasant task to me to present vote of thanks. So I would like to extend my sincere and heartiest thanks to Swami Ji. It is a great pleasure for me to be part of this morning in this beautiful session. So on behalf of DAV Secondary College and Managing Committee, New Delhi, Vardi Principal, our staff, teaching, non-teaching, students, I extend my heartfelt thanks to you. You are today's distinguished speaker who took time out of his busy schedule to come here and deliver this beautiful lecture, जिसमें आपने हमारा ज्ञान वर्धन किया. We are feeling really blessed with your benign presence. स्वामी जी, आपकी ही लाइनें यहाँ दोहराती हूँ. Happiness in who you are and what you do in the present moment is vital to achieve whatever success means to you. Be it financial good health, a happy family, giving back to society, peace of mind. स्वामी जी, आपको हमारा शत नमन.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for coordinating it so well.
Thank you so.
I also have to thanks to Swamiji personally. And I think and I hope in future also, whenever he gets some free time, we would get his enlightening views from time to time. And thank you so much for joining us. And at this late hour, we are keeping you awake. I mean, it's around 12 New York time. So it's time for you to take rest.
1 minute, Savita ma'am. Please, can you give me 1 minute?
Yeah,
for thanks?
sure.
Huh. Our guest of honor, Shri Shiv Raman Gaurji, who could not come in this webinar, but he continuously encouraged us and he has translated our vision, mission, and determination into action. Thank you. I will be failing my duty if do not extend thanks to my worthy principal, Dr. Savita Bhagat. Really, Dr. Savita Bhagat, ma'am, you are an awesome person, wonderful human being. I salute your management skill. Ma'am, here I would like to share and acknowledge your vision as principal of this college and for the society at large in the field of education. I also express my thanks and special thanks to Dr. Pradeep Bose for his kind support, our secretary to Swamiji, your continuous support for the success of this webinar. At the last but not the least, thanks to all my staff members, teaching and non-teaching, students, eminent person of India and abroad. 2 लाइनें कहना चाहूंगी, दुनिया बेताब है खूबसूरत चेहरों के लिए, मगर हमको आज भी तलाश खूबसूरत दिल की है, प्रेम की है. नमस्ते, आपको मेरा सबको धन्यवाद. Be safe, stay home. Good day. Thank you all.
Thank you especially to Dr. Vijayavanti for coordinating this so well. And thank you, Dr. Bhagat, for having me, organizing this program, reaching out to us. I was just taking a look at the grid view. So many young people, they're students. So a special wave to all of you, the young people, the students who have gathered here for this program. My best wishes to all of you. Namaskar.
Give us your blessings. Give your blessings to all of us.
I pray for welfare of everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Leave this meeting now. Thank you.
Yeah.